Welcome back to my annual Oscar series where I talk about all the Oscar categories except for the short film ones. I rank all the nominees per category according to who I think deserves to win each Oscar, then I make a prediction for who I think will win that Oscar. So right now, let's talk about Best Adapted Screenplay. And the nominees are Arrival, Eric Heiser, based on the short story Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang. Fences, August Wilson, based on his play. Hidden Figures, Alison Schroeder and Theodore Melfi, based on the book by Margot Lee Shetterly. Lion, Luke Davies, based on the book A Long Way Home by Saru Brierley and Larry Buttrose. And Moonlight, Barry Jenkins and Terrell Alvin McCraney, based on the play In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue by Terrell Alvin McCraney. Now, I personally think this is an okay list of nominees. I think there are some clear frontrunners here and some films that I would not have nominated. It's a category that is nowhere near as good as original screenplay this year, unfortunately. In terms of snubs, I don't really have anyone in mind, although I am surprised that Nocturnal Animals is not on this list, which is not to say that I wanted to see it on the list, because again, I do not like that movie. Unpopular opinion, but whatever. In terms of who I think deserves to win this Oscar, at 5th place, I am going to give it to Lion. Now, I really enjoyed Lion, but I found its writing just super problematic. That was really my main issue with the film. If not for the writing, the rest of the movie is great. There isn't really a solid dramatic through line to the plot, in my opinion. It is very scattered dramatically, which I'm not sure if they intended to go that route, but it doesn't really work out to the film's favor, in my opinion. None of the characters are that fully developed. It's really just because of the actors that the characters are good. There are subplots with Saru's brother and Saru's mother that are never really delved into satisfactorily. And its themes are also a bit scattered. I just wish there was a bit more to chew on. Now, at 4th place, I'm going to give it to Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures is an old school inspiring story that definitely got me tearing up quite a bit. It has 3 great, extremely likable protagonists played by Taraji P. Henson, Janelle Monáe, and Octavia Spencer. And I like that Hidden Figures is very clear-eyed about its themes on racism and equal opportunity. My issue with Hidden Figures' script is that it just doesn't get into the nitty-gritty stuff, which I feel would have really helped give nuance to the story and really help, make it more powerful than it already is. And I really wish the film got into the math of everything, because we don't really understand as normal audience members what Taraji P. Henson is good at, really, so it does kind of lose urgency when we see her doing like math equations and stuff. I wish they found a way to explain these concepts to us so we knew what was at stake, really. Now, at 3rd place, I'm going to give it to Fences. And just watching Fences, you can see why August Wilson won a Pulitzer Prize for the stage version of Fences. It's a movie that's so rich with themes that go beyond just simple racism, and that's not saying like racism is simple, but where August Wilson goes with his script is really, really fascinating and fun to unpack. And speaking of fascinating, Troy Maxon, the character played by Denzel Washington, as unlikable as he may be, he is a really interesting character, and I wanted to spend even more time with him, albeit at a distance, because I just wanted to see how he interacted with the world, the stories he told, his opinions about certain things. And of course, the dialogue is incredible. Like, it really is. There's just so much detail to it that it is just endlessly fun to listen to. However, again, my flaw with the script of Fences is that it just doesn't feel tailored for the screen. There is a big difference between screen dialogue and stage dialogue, and a lot of dialogue in Fences, especially in the first half, feels very stagey, and it did take me out of the movie more than once. Now, at 2nd place, I'm going to give it to Arrival. Arrival is a very plot-heavy film, but it pulls it off by making this alien invasion thing come off as an extremely personal story about one specific character, Louise Banks, played by Amy Adams. But of course, as a lot of people have already pointed out, Arrival is more than just an alien invasion story. It becomes an allegory about humanity and our need to connect with each other and to cooperate with each other. And while some people might argue, I don't know, about Louise being sort of just like a vessel for the plot, I agree with that, but at the same time, I love that they kind of give her like her own emotional stakes so that she becomes necessary for the story. And the way they kind of resolve her emotional arc is really satisfying, and you don't see it coming until the very end, but it really works very well. And finally, at 1st place, the film that I think deserves to win Best Adapted Screenplay is easily Moonlight. As the review from the Huffington Post says about Moonlight, because that's like the all my thoughts about Moonlight that I can't articulate, they're articulated in the Huffington Post's review for the film. This movie is about the construction of a human life, simply put. It's about one person's transformation as he's influenced by the environment he grows up in, as he's influenced by his relationships. And it's a very specific story, but at the same time, the way it's written, it comes off as extremely universal. Even if you're nothing like Chiron, if you're not black, gay, poor, abused, you will find like just, a seed of humanity that I think is common among all of us. And similar to Arrival, it's about our need to connect and our bravery to really overcome what society tells us, to really be able to connect with other people. And the fact that it's so universal, even if it tells such a specific story, I think is the mark of really, really good writing. And that's why I think it deserves to win. However, in terms of who I think will win this Oscar, I am placing my bet on Arrival. And this might be the most foolish bet I'll make for this Oscar season, but I really just feel like the narrative of Arrival and its focus on language will be the thing that really takes it to the Oscar. Also because when I think of Moonlight, it also says a lot with its silences, so I'm not sure if the Academy will think of Moonlight as a talky film, because the Academy likes giving the Screenplay Awards to talky films, and Arrival, because of its focus on language, because it does have more dialogue, I think, than Moonlight, I feel like they're gonna go with Arrival. I don't know. Alright, so those are my thoughts on Best Adapted Screenplay. What do you guys think of the nominees? Who do you think should win? Who do you think will win? Whatever you guys think, whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.